Hey Meyerberg friends, how you all doing? I'm hoping you're safe and well. And my name is Ken Zonies, and we're going to do a little more bonsai today. We did one a little bit earlier. This is another one. Today we're going to talk about wiring trees. Wiring is the way we shape the trees, we move the branches, and goes after the old saying, as the twig is bent, so grows the tree. Before we start, let me show you my little companion tree today. This is a maple. You can see it's very early spring. The leaves are just coming out. And over the next week or two, that should really leaf out and look pretty good. So coming back to what we're doing today, this is a European olive, Olea europa. It's a very old kind of tree. These trees have been around for thousands and probably millions of years. They are primarily around the Mediterranean, although they've been found as far afield as North America, South America, India, and New Zealand. Some of these trees are very old. There is a tree in Greece which is thought to have been in the garden when Plato was talking to his disciples. That tree is probably 2,400 years or more old. So what we're going to do today is to wire this European olive in order to give it more shape, more grace. The tools for today are wire cutter, pruning shears if I need them, and of course, wire. What I'm going to try and do today...
Where you can buy it?
I've been reminded by my wife, who is the camera woman, that I can get these at local craft stores. You can certainly get them online, but what I've done is go to the local craft store and get these. They come in both aluminum and in copper. The copper is stronger, it holds with a thinner gauge, but the aluminum is a little bit easier to work. So what I'm going to do first is bring down these two branches. I'm going to bring these branches down because if you look at older trees, the lower branches hang lower because of gravity over the years, and in bonsai, age is venerated, so I'm going to try and bring these branches down, make this tree look a little older than it is. I'm going to start with some wire here. I'm going to use this black anodized aluminum, and I'm going to show you something here. Get this out of here and cut off that curly piece. And what I'm going to do is, since I'm doing these two branches, I want to take 1.5 times the length of those branches with the wire that I'm working with. That's about right. And what I'm going to do is, just to make sure the wire is going to hold, I'm going to take the wire, push down on the branch. Now, if the branch bends, that means the wire will hold it. If I were to go lower down here, you would see the wire bending against the trunk. This is too thick to be held by this wire. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wire two branches at the same time. This is done fairly commonly because one branch will act as an anchor to another branch. Now what I'm doing is wrapping the wire, and I'm trying to make it at about a 45-degree angle with respect to the branch. And before I finish that, I'm going to come up the trunk, again at 45 degrees. And now I'm going to go out onto the branch, and you'll notice that I'm always trying to put the wire through the crotch where the branch takes off from the rest of the tree, because that will prevent it from splitting when I'm moving the branch. And I'm going to go a little more up here, then I'm going to come into here, trying not to capture leaves or to capture twigs in the wire. So I'm going to wire this out, one more wrap. Now please note that I'm using this thumb to hold the wire while I'm wrapping it with my other finger. You do not want to use the branch as the lever against which you're wrapping the wire. You will snap the branch. So now I'm going to go out a little further on this guy. Trying not to capture the leaves. Trying not to capture the leaves. And a little further. And there. Now, what I'm going to do now is to bring these branches down. So if you back up and get a little lower with the camera, please, I'm going to show you that we're going to bend this branch down and down and down. You'll notice I just don't pull it down in one fell swoop. That might snap the branch. So what I'm doing is using my thumbs as the fulcrum to pulling that branch down. I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. down, down, down. And this guy's a little high, so I'm actually going to use the wire to twist him into a flatter level. So those branches are pulled down pretty nicely. Next thing I want to do is pull down these two branches. I'm going to use this as a top. I have three choices, 1, 2, 3, but I'm going to pull these two branches down and leave this as a top. So what I'm going to do now is get some wire and do that. Again, 1.5 times the length, and you get pretty good eyeballing this stuff after you've been doing it for a while. And again, I'm going to go through the crotch here, and around, and around, and around, and around. And then I'm going to go down and under, up through the crotch again, and around, and around, and around, and one more time, around, and that should do it. Okay. Now, I'm going to bend these two guys down. I want this guy to be the top, so I'm going to bring this guy down in the back. I snapped him, but it'll hold. And we'll bring this guy down again, too. Okay. I think we're almost done. Do I want to bring this guy down? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to take this off, take the excess wire off. Take the excess wire off. Take the excess wire off, just so it doesn't hang up. I think we're just about done. I could bring this back or down. I think I'm going to leave that. And what I'm going to do is turn this around so you get an idea now. This is the front of the tree. We've got the branches going down. We've got the leader here. And you will notice that the branches are coming out of the trunk on the outside of the curve. You should never have it coming out on the inside of the curve. Trees don't grow that way, and it's not really healthy for the tree. I think we're just about done. The question always comes up, how long do you leave the wires on? On a tree like this, which is a deciduous, that is to say it loses its leaves, you might leave them on for a month or two. That really depends on the type of tree and how fast it's growing. On a conifer tree like a pine or a juniper, you might leave it on for 3 months, 6 months, or even a year or more. You leave it on until it holds. Usually what you do is you look and remember that the wire is not changing, but the branch is thickening. So you do not want to strangle the branch with a wire that is left on for too long. Usually, if 1/3 of the diameter of the wire is covered by the branch, it's time to get that wire off. You don't want to leave the wire on too long because it will leave scars that take a long time to come out. That's pretty much the story. That's the story of wiring. That's part of the story of bonsai. There's a lot more, obviously. Everybody, be well. Have a good day. Goodbye.